How you guys doing? Dr. Bill here at Thompson Healthcare and Sports Medicine at our Lacey office in the Physical Therapy Department. Thanks for joining us again this week as we go through some abdominal movements. Last week we worked on the dead bug. Today we're going to work on two different movements. One's called a plank, which everybody knows. We're actually going to do a plank, side plank combo. And then we're also going to go on a hip raise or a gar hammer raise. So follow along with that. Once again, like us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube, because we do have two more of these videos coming up, and we do have a lot of great things on the site, so don't forget to follow us. All right, and without ado, here we go. Okay, so last week we did dead bugs. I know that some of you might have thought that they were pretty easy, but I said not to skip it because it's important, because today when we talk about planks, what we're really going to work on is that dead bug back position. So what that means is really making that space from your hips to your ribs as small as possible. A lot of people, when they do planks, they just kind of hang out on their elbows and their toes and they let their lower back sag. And that's where you'll hear people say that they could do planks forever, okay? But really, a plank should be a pretty aggressive move with a lot of contraction through the abdominals and through the glutes as well. So what you want to do is you're going to get down on your elbows and on your toes, and you're going to try and push your heels together to squeeze your butt, and you're going to try to shorten that space, that dead bug back position, from your ribs down to your pelvis. So it's going to look just like this. So elbows, toes, squeezing our heels together, getting my butt squeezed, and then tuck that lower back position. Another thing you want to work on too is make sure you're not too rounded through the mid back. So you can drop a little bit through your shoulder blades, just like that. And that's our plank position there. You should mostly be straight from your head down to your ankles, and you should feel a little bit of shake because you are contracting as tight as you can with your muscles and your butt. So next we're going to talk about the side plank. So on the side plank, you're essentially holding the same position from your elbow down to your feet, but the big thing that people do on this is they tend to rock backwards, or they tend to actually bend forward at the waist a little bit. So you want to make sure you have that dead bug back position, and you want to stay as straight of a line as you can. So elbows right down to the feet. Again, we're trying not to get here, and we're trying not to roll back, so that hip is straight up to the ceiling, and we get that dead bug back position, and that's where we're holding, just like that. So let's talk about some easy regressions. For the plank, the best way to do is to just get down on your knees. But again, remember that the technique is still exactly the same. We're still getting that dead bug back position, so those belly muscles are working hard. So that'll look just like this. Elbows, knees, and again, tuck that pelvis, make sure those abdominals are working really hard. Push your feet together, make sure the glutes are working a little bit too. So the regression for the side plank, you could do a couple things. You could do just like the regular plank, you just go right on your knees and head up. Again, same thing takes effect. From the shoulders to your knees, you're straight, dead bug back position. And then another regression you could do, which actually get the glutes a little bit more involved, is to have your bottom knee down, the top foot goes right behind it, and then you push up through that foot and that knee into that side plank. And you'll feel a little bit more in your glutes working on this one as well. So before we move on to our last exercise, what I want to talk to you about is just reps and how long to hold it. A lot of times, 3 times for 30 seconds is where I start, with 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. If you can get through 3 of them, you're probably doing pretty okay. Another thing, if these get pretty easy for you, that I'll do to challenge people a little bit more, is to do plank for 30 seconds, side plank for 30 seconds, plank for 30 seconds, other side plank for 30 seconds, and then finish off again with that regular plank for 30 seconds. If you can get through that whole thing, keeping that proper dead bug back position, your abdominals are going to be pretty strong on that. So the last one we're going to talk about is going to be a hip raise or a gar hammer raise. You're going to lay on your back, you're going to use your hands to support you, and you're going to bring your hips off the floor as high as you can. So there's going to be 2 ways to do it. The harder way is going to be with the legs straight, and then the easier way is going to be with the legs bent, with the knees bent. You can use a little bit of momentum with it, that's okay. We'll go over both. But the big important thing is once you get up to the top, you want to lower yourself slowly and incrementally. So you don't want to plop right back down. You want to kind of go 1 vertebrae at a time as you roll yourself back down onto the mat. So here it is with the legs straight. Control yourself down nice and slow, just like that. With the legs bent, just a little bit easier. And then you can use a little bit of momentum too to get yourself up a little bit higher. But again, always when you lower yourself down, slowly. So we're not coming up and then just plopping down. All right, because that's a nice way to get hurt. Okay, so for that last one, the hip raise or the gar hammer raise, 3 sets of 10 is a nice way to start on that. If you're still having trouble with the dead bugs, or if you're still working on the dead bugs from week 1, definitely incorporate those too, but don't be afraid to add the new stuff as well, even if it's challenging. Challenging is okay. Thank you for joining us on week 2 of Abdominal Challenge. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube. We do have 2 more weeks of this to go, and we'll see you again at Thompson Healthcare.